What's up, everybody? This is TJ McKinley, episode 3, TJ McKinley podcast, where we say what we want, how we want, whatever we want. I got special guests on. Go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
What's going on, everybody? Obviously, Rondo Griffin. I am 1/3 of the First and 56 podcasts presented by Sideline Sports. Tuca Marcus Martin, bringing you everything and anything Colts related, football related. Like I said, we've been in the podcast game now. Me and Gula have been in the podcast game now for 5 years strong. Marcus is in year number 2, joining our squad. But obviously, me and this guy have been talking a lot off the air, so finally, great to put name to face and let's get some content out here. So let's get to it.
All right, Rondo, go ahead and start with your the Colts. What you feel about the Colts taking their first loss to the Texans? How you think they did? With strength, weaknesses? What you just feel about the team overall?
Okay, I mean, not to be like a Debbie Downer, but like you just got to be real. The Colts haven't won a game in week 1 since 2013. So when I came into that Sunday expecting a loss, like I wasn't surprised that we ended up losing. Now, obviously, we talked the game. I think we looked great. It was the biggest thing was to see Richardson back, obviously, after all the injuries he had to deal with last year. So seeing him back on the field, the offense was flowing. Him and JT finally sharing the field together. Really, I have no issues with how the offense played. Defensively, we're going to have some issues because the run defense, the trenches was supposed to be the strength of this team. You cannot get destroyed by Joe Mixon like that, going for $160 on you. Nico Collins did to us what he did last year, essentially playing like he's Julio Jones out there. Now that we knew coming into the secondary was a weak spot of this team, we were going to have a lot of questions when it came to that, but the trench work and what happened with the run game is absolutely disgusting. Like I said, I mean, it's been a generational thing of us not winning in week 1. So we'll kind of have to deal with that as the time goes on. But in terms of the game, I'm meh about it. Offense looked decent. Defense got a lot of questions asked, but hey, it's week 1. It's the football. You got a long season. It's only going to get better.
So you feel like Jonathan Taylor gonna have to carry the offense like Barry Sanders?
I don't think so. That's the thing. I don't think so. He obviously Jonathan Taylor is easily the best offensive player on our team, but he doesn't. It's not so much of a he has to bail us out for us to win. He merely just has to kind of take pressure off Anthony Richardson. Open up lanes for him to make his passes. But I like in terms of like, do we need Jonathan Taylor to go on another MVP type of run like he did 2 years ago? No, not at all.
You feel like Anthony Richardson, the quarterback of the future, or you feel like he only like a game manager for now?
He is absolutely the quarterback of the future. We have waited once number 12 hung it up. We have waited 7 years to get the guy. We've seen 8 different starting quarterbacks for this team in those past 7 years. Anthony Richardson, one, stops the stopgap of having a new starter. Obviously, he was the back-to-back starters in 2 years. We hope to see that going for the next 10 years. And again, my favorite thing is like, dude's only 21. He only played 4 games last year. If you want to argue that he's still a rookie, I'll take that. There's a lot of growth to be there. He's not a veteran. He's only going to get better. There's going to be growing pains that come with that. Not every young quarterback jumps into the league and has the blow up like a Mahomes or even like a CJ Stroud. It's a process. We're going to get there, and you saw it this past Sunday. He has us in a good spot, and it's only going to get better.
What you feel about Michael Pittman Jr.? I saw he was supposed to be, was he a rookie or second year for y'all?
He is in year number 5, my friend, and
Oh,
he is an
five.
up and coming receiver in this league. Like I've said it on our show all the time. The question has always been, is he a receiver 1? What is he a receiver 2? What is he? As I've said it, Michael Pittman is a receiver 1. He showed that to you last year. He showed that to you over the course of his young career, having to deal with a different starting quarterback every single year his career, with the exception of this year. He's finally, again, just like how we've been waiting for a quarterback, he's finally had the same quarterback throwing past him for back-to-back years. Finally, he showed you last year that he can be the focal point of an offense, and we saw he missed 2 games last year. In those 2 games, then we averaged 10 points. We absolutely need number 11 on the field. He is one of the better receivers in this game. He's not the best. I'll be real. He's not the best. He's not in top 5. But you want to talk top 10? He's in that conversation.
But I feel like the AFC South teams are coming up with the Jaguars and the Texans. So how you feel like in the future? Do you see them being good games in the future? The AFC South matchups.
Absolutely. If you asked me that same question, like a year ago, 2 years ago, I would have straight up told you we're in the worst division of football. Not so much the case anymore. I think us and the Texans, CJ Stroud versus Anthony Richardson, that's going to be a future rivalry to come. Now, the Jaguars are very hit and miss. There was a time where you could argue they were running the division. But like I said in a number show, the Jaguars get consistently, historically, never have back-to-back, like, strong seasons. So they had a down year last year. Statistically, that would mean they're going to be better this year. But as I've said, for the past few years, they've been the most prepped to make a long-term run because they've had their quarterback established. They've kind of had that culture established. But in terms of the future of the division, it's bright.
So you don't even see the Titans being a competitor in like the next, let's say, 5 years.
If you put the 5-year number on it, sure. If you're going to give them 5 years, yeah, they'll eventually get there. If you want to talk right now, though, let's be real and call a spade a spade. The Titans are in a rebuild. They let Derrick Henry go, franchise icon. Now roughly you want to argue, are they going to end up wasting Jeffrey Simmons' prime? Because he's one of the better interior defensive linemen in the league. But again, they got their quarterback also Will Levis. Who knows if he's going to be the guy for them? It's a different move than going off of Tannehill. But you're looking at the AFC South, it's all young quarterbacks now. We've all got our young arms. Now it's a race of who's going to build them up to be the best and get there first.
Okay, y'all heard it from Rondo. He going in. So, Rondo, I got this thing at the beginning of the videos. I do an ether segment. I give my guests 5-10 minutes to go in on anything sports related. So you got anybody you want to go in on, your Colts team, any other team, anything like that?
Oh, it's got to be sports related?
Yeah, I mean, it ain't got to be sports related. What you want to talk about? It's just 5-10 minutes. Go
okay,
with it.
Well, real quick, just because obviously it's a little on the depressing side, but I mean, sad news. Obviously, I'm sure everyone's seen the news that James Earl Jones unfortunately passed. One of the absolute great all-time actors of our lifetime, really. Voice of the most iconic on-screen villain and being Darth Vader. But the guy, he's been Darth Vader, he's been Mufasa, he was King Jappe in Coming to America. Absolute all-time icon. And even then, we're talking a podcast, one of the all-time icon voices when it just comes to a production aspect. So obviously, it's not sports related. It is a little bit on the downside, but obviously RIP to, again, an all-time great in James Earl Jones.
I think we lose a lot of our black actors and athletes and entrepreneurs. They just dying off.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, like I said, I mean, it's like in his case, he was 93. So obviously, he lived a long life at time to time. Like I said, Father Time's undefeated. But, like you said, it's like you're going to lose a lot of them. But I mean, it's how it's growth. That's how you get. It's old. It's life. But I mean, if he goes down, other one's going to come up. But obviously, like you said, you got to remember those legends and you don't miss them, but you obviously acknowledge the great work that they've done and the legacy that they leave behind.
So I'm looking at the schedule. The Colts playing the Packers next. September 15th at 1 p.m. Eastern for me because I'm in Cleveland. So how you feel like the Colts going to do with the Packers?
With the unfortunate news that Jordan Love is obviously going to miss that game, they're going to be starting Malik Willis. It's a game we should win. Now, obviously, it's the NFL. Any given Sunday, anything can happen. But the decrease in talent from Jordan Love to Malik Willis is absurd. So at least just from that aspect alone, that automatically gives an edge. You look at the early line, we're 3.5-point favorites. Basically, just kind of tells me as a sports bettor that it's 3.5 as a road team tells you a lot, especially this early in the season. But again, losing Jordan Love, going in there with Malik Willis, it's a huge change to what they can kind of even do offensively. Now, obviously, after having Joe Mixon dice us up for a $160, $150, Josh Jacobs is another premier running back in this league. We're going to have to contain him if we want to even have a chance at winning. But again, having Malik Willis under center instead of Jordan Love should make that an easier task.
No, on this podcast we talk about off-brand topics. I want to jump into the Tyreek Hill situation. Now, everybody know when minorities, I'm gonna say collect for YouTube purposes, so they don't strike my video. Minorities have gone through, I say, hardships when it comes to the police and police violence. So, what do you feel about the Tyreek Hill situation? Him getting arrested like the way he did going towards the game.
So here's my thing, and like when people want to play the race card, like I said, if you choose to do that, that's your prerogative. I'm never the type to do that. Yeah. My thing is, and I had a lot of discussions with this. I'm gonna quote one of my friends. Ted, he listens to my podcast. We're friends off the air. It's a point in terms of that Tyreek Hill arrest. It's a point of stupidity on both sides. Tyreek wanted to take control of the situation, not wanting to roll down his window, obviously acting, oh, don't tap my window. But on the flip side, the cops were extremely aggressive for the situation. I think it's come out that it was speeding, so there's mistakes on both sides. I can't sit here and fully fault the police, but I can't sit here and fully say Tyreek's innocent. Both made mistakes. Both could have obviously made the situation better, but like I said, it similar to like a lot of situations that you see in life. And I'm glad we have the video. And there was something important Tyreek said of just like, if it wasn't me, then what would happen? Which you have to get in that conversation as well. But it's a lot of stupidity on both sides. I think both sides could have did things to make that situation essentially be a non-story.
Yeah, I just think it's crazy. I feel as if I think I was really more mad because I was on TikTok and everybody's like, I'll pay for Tyreek to get out of jail. Okay, so if he was an NFL player, would y'all be doing that then?
Exactly. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And that's the conversation you have to have. And that's kind of the problem with it, because let's say it's you or me, you know what I mean? And let's say we react that same way. We're not, like I said, we're not going to get the social media crowd or the social media, jury party to come bail us out or come help us out. But then on the flip side of that, as a citizen, especially in a basic traffic stop, you comply, you get your ticket, you go about your business. You know what I mean? It's not like they pulled him over for nothing. He did break the law. We have to get that clear. He did break the law. Now, if you want to argue of the cops going over the top aggressive, I'm with you on that because the video shows it. They absolutely did. But the flip side of the matter is that you're in that situation, you know what you're supposed to do, especially as an adult. Like I said, it's stupidity on both sides here.
Yeah, I just feel like I think people in Tyreek's stats need to be more careful because you're not an average person walking the street. You a $100 million, we know endorsements and stuff. You like $100 million athlete. So you driving them type cars you driving, you just need a little bit more cautious how you moving. But yeah, I feel like people trying to play the race card. That's why I asked you. That's why I had to be politically correct. People trying to play the race card. I'm like, sometimes you gotta look at both sides of the story. Yes, there's been a lot of police violence. We ain't gonna get into that YouTube purposes, but I feel like it's both sides of the story. Speaking of gun violence on athletes, how you say it? Ricky Parcell? Is that how you say his last name?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you feel about that situation?
The situation with that one is just like, look, so I grew up in San Francisco, back when it was a beautiful city. What it's turned into now is just absolutely disgusting. What was very pressing for me was the fact of the matter that it came out that it was a 17-year-old that shot at him. Just like, I don't, what has happened? Like, I don't want to get obviously too politicalized and we're talking sports here, but that's just a situation that shouldn't happen, regardless of the fact that he's an athlete. Just at 17, what are you doing? And obviously the fact that he's okay, blessing, you know what I mean? Like the fact that he was able to walk away from that situation, absolute blessing. A rookie into the league, making his dreams come true. So the fact that he didn't get that taken away from him, absolutely blessing for that. But it's another one of those situations that you just hate to see. And like you always ask yourself, like, what's the point? What were you looking to accomplish there?
Like, a lot of people think it's controversy in a situation because it was a claim he got shot in the chest or in the, not the heart area, the right, but he was walking. So I ain't gonna get into that. I just feel like I just hope this not a public stunt because we not gonna act like in the past players haven't done public stunts, getting arrested. I just hope this not what this is because gun violence is serious, especially what's happening in the world today. So I hope he's okay. I hope the Tyreek Hill situation, I hope that gets settled or Tyreek, move on from that. Cause we don't want another Antonio Brown. And speaking of
Oh
AB,
God.
AB rumor, allegedly, he trying to get back into the league. What you think, AB? I would ask you, what you think AB need to do?
Look, and I say this and like non-ironically, and I'm not trying to be funny or go viral or anything, but he honestly does need to seek help. He needs to absolutely seek help. And like we want to make jokes about CTE, and I'm guilty of that. I've made jokes about CTE, but maybe it's a conversation you need to have. We've seen past athletes lose their mind. It's a physical sport. It's known for head trauma and head injuries. Antonio Brown was one of the premier receivers in this league. He's taken a lot of hits over his career. And obviously we saw his exit from the league. Let's be real. That's not normal, and for someone I've argued off the air, when you want to talk about talent level distractions. So obviously the reason why Antonio Brown even got those extra chances was because of the talent level. When he was playing in his prime, you could easily argue he was the best receiver in the league. At worst, he was top 3. So that type of person is going to get more opportunities than say, pick up bench warmth from your favorite team. If he messes up, cut, you're done. Bye. See you later. And Antonio Brown's going to get the privilege of opportunity. But at this point in time of his age and his career, he's not getting back into the league. No one's going to put up with that headache despite his talent. But I literally think he generally needs to go seek help. Really, case in point, when after his last debacle, and his agent Drew Rosenhaus came out and said just that, I'm cutting ties, which is pretty important when a popular agent like Drew Rosenhaus comes out and cuts ties with you publicly. That says something. But clearly, the people in his circle don't actually care or value about him, because if that was someone you love and they were acting that way, you would take them out of hand, you would pull them to the side and be like, look, I love you. I care about you. You are my brother. Something's not right. I will go with you. Let's figure this out. I don't like the path you're going down.
That's just it. It's a lot of yes men and followers, and everybody want to be buddy. Then they want to be when you at the stats AB was at, because I don't know where he at now. You always need at least 2 or 3 real friends that gonna pull you to the side and be like, man, you making money, endorsements. You already know these people trying to come after you. They say you crazy, and you out here like you need like Chris Brown situation. Like, dude, you just need to you can be you. You probably at the point you used to all this, but they really on you now. Like, you need to chill out, cut social media off, all that. But I feel like some people famous addiction. It's like hot. It's like a hot to them. They just need the attention. Everybody want to be seen. Just chill out. Come back. No, they always want some attention. But moving on for the AB situation, I feel like we got a lot of old heads in the league. Starting with Aaron Rodgers. What you think this Aaron Rodgers last ride, or you think he go another season with the Jets?
I don't. So Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback that, I think he's going to walk right into the Hall of Fame. He's had a long career. But look, and we kind of talked about it earlier, this is the age of youth in the league now. You know what I mean? And as a Colts fan, the past few years, I've seen those old quarterbacks paraded through our building. Aaron Rodgers I think he's 41 entering this year. You know what I mean? And okay, he just lost to the Niners. I'm not going to hold him to that. The Niners are one of the better defenses in the league. You know what I mean? So yeah, they, kind of beat you up, whatever. Aaron Rodgers also historically plays badly on week 1. Like, kind of over his career, he's been terrible when it comes to week 1. Is this his last year is the tough one, just because I don't understand what the Jets' direction is. Obviously, you bring in Aaron Rodgers, that's a sign that you're trying to win now. You don't bring in Aaron Rodgers or any elder quarterback of his stature and you're trying to rebuild for a bridge guy. So obviously they're trying to win now. Just I don't think it's with what the pieces they have presently. I don't think they're able to do it this year. Ironically enough, I think they're ready that run next year. But then with that question is, what's a 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers going to do for you? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we saw Tom Brady kind of beat Father Time, but then it caught up to him. I don't see Aaron Rodgers getting another ring. I really don't. You know, so is this going to be his last year? I want to say yes, but I don't think it's going to be, because kind of similar to Tampa Bay, when Brady retired and unretired, they didn't really have a plan at quarterback behind him. The Jets don't really have a plan at quarterback right now. So it's almost like they kind of need him to come back next year so they can sort of make that plan or at least prep for it.
They had Zach Wilson, and the dude before that, some dude named Aaron, whatever his name was. Look, Jets are the Jets. They always drafting terrible draft picks. They team be decent, but y'all, when y'all had the Rex Ryan area, when y'all had LT and all them, okay, cool. But they was more there because of Rex Ryan. They wasn't really there for the Jets. You see, as soon as they fired him, everybody left. Then y'all had the Mark Sanchez era. That was horrible. Y'all really was going off the hype. It's just like the Jets. What do you feel about their team, let's say the past decade organization? Like, when it comes to draft picks, the owner, management, you believe they just need to relocate, or what do you feel like the Jets need to do?
It's not relocated, but I mean, it's just like a lot of franchises, you know, not just NFL, just pick any league. They're one of those franchises that need to just top to bottom clean house everywhere, and just start over clean slate. Because I mean, like you said, at least for the course of my lifetime, the Jets have always been terrible. You know, that they had that mini like series of runs with the Revis Island defense, but even then, I think like you said, Mark Sanchez was that quarterback. That was also the butt fumble year. So I mean, there now. Okay, to be fair, yes, that was you know, during that era, you ran into Prime Brady. You know, Prime Brady stopped us from a lot of our great teams as well. But as far as I'm concerned, for the past 10, 15, hell, 20 years, they've been kind of absolutely irrelevant. And now, obviously, it's not going to happen, but it's a situation where you need to do the fully clean house, clean slate, and start from literally ground zero. And when I say fire everybody, I mean fire everybody.
Do you feel like the Colts had this problem after Peyton Manning? Let's start with Peyton Manning. Before y'all was getting Andrew Luck, do you feel like the year when Peyton Manning, I guess, retired or injured, he wasn't really injured, but injured, do you feel like this was a problem the Colts were having?
So not really. So you go back to the Peyton injury year where we started Curtis Painter. I wouldn't say it was an issue because the next season we draft Luck and go 11-5.
Yeah,
I mean, virtually the same team, just changed the quarterback. So really, like I said, our problems honestly started when Luck retired. You know, we had that one bad year with the Peyton injury where I argued that should tell you right there that Peyton Manning should have won MVP that year, because we went 14-2, he gets injured, we go 2-14, draft Luck, go 11-5. I think that's also just a message of how important that quarterback position is, you know. And I mean, not to pick on you, but like as a Browns fan, clearly you see that. I mean, you ain't got if you don't have a quarterback, you're not going anywhere. It don't matter. You guys have an all-star talented defense, and you got no quarterback. It don't matter.
Message. Like, man, Browns, they had like 20 quarterbacks. They had most quarterbacks ever, man. It's like every season we had somebody new. I knew Johnny Manziel wasn't about to make it. I knew Baker wasn't about to make it. Man, we need to go back to the 60s.
Okay, so real quick. So you were out. You didn't like Baker?
No.
See, man, I don't get that. I thought, dude, like, and I think he's showing you guys now. I thought Baker was the man. You know, I mean, hey, he took you guys to the first time in the playoffs for the past 20 years.
Did he do that? Right now in Tampa Bay. Did he do that, or the defense did that?
He helped. He absolutely helped. I'm just like, you got to give Baker his flowers, man. I think you guys gave up on him way too early. I think he was the promised child for you guys.
Okay, why he want to throw Odell the ball then?
Okay, and I'm glad you brought that up. Odell Beckham Jr. is the most overrated receiver in this league that we have seen in the past 10 years. He had that one special one-handed catch in New York, and then he had those 2 nice seasons with Eli Manning. After that, he has done absolutely nothing. And I'll be legit. If he would have just shut up and played second fiddle to Amari Cooper, who is better than him, and accepted the fact that he was a receiver too, they could have did something.
No, Jarvis
OBJ's a good receiver, but he is the most overrated receiver we have seen in the past few years. And I'm not sorry.
You talking about Landry. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's just like the Browns just need to get their stuff together. We gonna get to the Browns later on. Though. I see what you did there. We gonna get to the Browns later on. Christian McCaffrey. Tell me about this situation. What I'm seeing on Twitter, everybody talking about something about he said he was injured, and the team said he didn't. Like, what you know about that?
So it's a lot of gamemanship happening. So obviously, Jordan Mason in his post-game interview, which is gonna be hype, at a career game. He said he spilled the beans that he was told that on Friday that he was going to be starting. Which him saying that, which is I don't think he would lie about that, especially not in open air, is a huge issue when you want to talk rules and fines department when it comes to the NFL, as far as the NFL is concerned. In the cause of betting lines, fantasy purposes. Huge no-no for the Niners to hold up that information that they knew by Friday for a Monday night game that CMC was not going to play, because CMC is a line mover. That changes absolutely everything. So that's a situation the league's going to have to look into, and it sucks for Jordan Mason, a guy who was just excited to get a start and then blow up like he did with everyone watching on Monday Night Football. So it's a really bad situation for him, but rules are rules, and obviously, the line goes like, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. But like I said, a lot of people are gonna have to answer some questions, and unfortunately, the Niners are, they're gonna be the scrutiny of it.
You think it's big or bust for the Niners? I'm getting them next year too. You feel like they got the team right now where if they don't win the next 2 or 3 years, they gonna blow it up?
I'm thinking you're right. Like it's like 2 years. They've got to get one. You know what I mean? And like I said, kind of how we just talked about how Brady stopped a lot of great teams from winning. I get it. You ran into Mahomes, twice, so I get it. But they've got to get it done. If you want to talk overall, not even just star power, but overall top to bottom full rosters, I think the Niners are number one. You know what I mean? I think at worst, they're number 3. But if you want to go position by position group, the Niners are absolutely almost elite everywhere. At places where they're not elite, they are very good. They barely have any weak spots. It's a team. And even then, talking about it, Brock Purdy's due for a payday at the end of the season. And he's going to get his money. You just paid Ayuk. Kill's getting big money. Debo's getting big money. Bosa's getting big money. Fred Warner's getting big money. You can't afford all those people. So, you kind of have to win it this year with Brock Purdy's last year on chump change, because next year he's getting his payday. And yes, I'm aware the salary cap doesn't really exist. Obviously everyone finds ways to circumvent that. But I think you're absolutely right that if they don't get it done this year, they've got to get it done next year. Otherwise, you're going to have to start shipping people out, because and Trent Williams just got paid. So money's flying everywhere except for your quarterback, and Brock Purdy's going to be the most expensive one.
Then they got Chase Young to deal with. Then they got that fullback, though. It's like the George Kittle. Like, this like an 80s. This like the Joe Montana era for United. They got too many players, man. Too many.
They're absolutely loaded over there. I like their roster. The Brock Purdy story is amazing in itself. Being Mr. Irrelevant and showing that he can be a top QB in this league, absolutely love it. But I'm with you, and especially he's on chump change. You gotta win one before he gets paid, and especially if you don't win one this year, then you gotta win one in that first year of his new money, because like I said, stuff's gonna get real expensive real quick.
Well, Niners got that Warriors salary cut. They just be throwing up money. I be like, how much money y'all got? It's crazy, man. So moving on. Of course, everybody know I'm a Browns fan. So let's speak on this. Let me ask for your input. What you feel about the Deshaun Watson status with the Browns? You feel like this is last year? He about to get traded. He about to come back and MVP caliber type quarterback. Like, how you see him doing? I'm gonna let you go first.
The Deshaun Watson thing is just so all over the place. I mean, so dial it back to when he was still officially in Houston, but pre-trade and everything, and all the news comes out about the massage debacle and the sexual lawsuits and everything. And I remember when that first came out, and I said that, look, it's a bad situation. It sounds horrible. I'm not trying to be a sympathizer, but I firmly do believe in innocent until proven guilty. That is his amendment rights. Obviously, we're in America. We have judicial systems. We have laws. We have regulations, how that goes. I said at the time that there was a lot of weirdness on both sides. The fact that it was, 16 women coming out. That's a high number. That's not a coincidence. That's not an accident. That they can't all be lying. But I also thought it was weird that the head lawyer just happened to be the next door neighbor of the Texans owner. I'm just like, that's a little suspicious also, that y'all just happen to live next to each other. And it's at a time where you're in a contract dispute, so you're looking for kind of an excuse to ship him off and get rid of him. But that's neither here nor there. That's in the past. You ship him off. I think the Texans actually dominated when it comes to that trade. Sure, it helps more now seeing all the draft picks and everything and our players now. And the fact that Watson just has looked terrible. Because at a time in Houston, you could argue he's the top 5 quarterback in this league. Explosive, dynamic, with only one receiver to throw the ball to in DeAndre Hopkins when he was in Houston. Gets to Cleveland, gets suspended, looks bad-ish in that year, but you kind of shake it off as he was suspended, didn't get much time on the team. He spent 11 weeks away, non-injury. There's going to be some rust there. You look at him last year, and he just didn't look right either. You look at him at the start of this season, and something's still not looking right at all. He just not. It's like, what happened to the MVP Watson? Then you look at the matter of that the next 2 seasons, he's going to count for $76 million against the cap. He is has the highest cap hit in the league for the next 2 seasons, and he's not playing like a $76 million quarterback. So, but your question of do the Browns get rid of him? I don't think they can. I think they have to write it out. And it's a bad situation because of what they put themselves into. But and then it comes out that there's more lawsuits coming against him. So now I'm just like, the defense that I took against you earlier in Houston, I'm sorry, that's gone now. Because, yeah, sure, legally, you're still innocent until proven guilty, but a bad look just got worse. And what I never understand when it comes to these pro athletes is just that, sure, you're playing a game, but in your case, this is your job. Shouldn't you be taking that seriously? And even then, like, we talk about the Tyreek Hill thing. You're a celebrity. You're always in the spotlight. You're a 1%er. Surely you should understand that you kind of have to not so much be a better citizen, but you have to be more kind of in step with what you do in your regular everyday life. Because, for example, let's say you and I rob a liquor store or something petty, whatever, right? Sure, it messes up for us and maybe our family's disappointed, but that's about it. In your case as a celebrity, if you do something as simple as litter, small crime, but you represent more than just yourself. In his case, you represent an NFL team. You represent a brand. Obviously, all your family knows you because you're in the spotlight. You got random know you. We know you, and we're not related to you. Your decisions impact more than just your personal self. And obviously, and again, I'm talking petty crimes. In this case, it's something serious. You're talking SA. Very serious allegation, and that's a very serious crime. To whereas, again, if you and I do that, jail right away. We don't get to work. We're not escaping anything. Take that seriously. You only get your shelf life as a pro athlete is so short, and you want to throw that away. when there's plenty of people who would kill for that opportunity. It's disrespectful. It's rude. It's disgusting. And not to bring it on the bush, the women that are coming out against you, if you absolutely did do something against them, which at this point, I don't know, that's disgusting.
Yeah, well, allegedly, because I said
allegedly.
You took my video down. Oh, allegedly, I believe. I hope for Deshaun he didn't do it.
Yeah.
If he did do it, it's a case of, bro, you did what you did. But the problem being on the football side, bro, you got paid like a suit. You got pay NBA type money contract in the NFL, which only a handful of players can do, especially with the salary cap going up. They reconstructed your deal, and then it's like you ain't even play for real the last season because you was injured allegedly. You really going through them cases allegedly. But it's like, dude, now how many lose against the Cowboys? Like they were just talking. You basically just got Dak paid. He about to get paid off beating us. Cause the Cowboys though, come on, man, they not. They just they just an okay team. You know how we don't like them over here. But dude, you just basically not doing nothing. Then you putting all the pressure on Myles Garrett now. So now they got to go back to how we was no one defense last year. But I feel like they can't do it no more, bro. It's like they was doing it last year because they had to. This year it's more of a okay. We got Deshaun. We got some more offensive weapons. Myles Garrett and them on the defense are chilling. Like, okay, we can go hard, but let's chill a little bit. Now I feel like they're going to have to turn up like they did last year, turn to the 2000 Ravens or the 85 Bears, because you just throwing picks, offense ain't blocking, wide receivers dropping wide open catches. Now, that one pick was not Deshaun's fault. The wide receiver, I can't remember his name, had it, and it tipped. Like, come on, man, you got to get that. Then the tight end Joker, you balling, but bro, you not really balling. Like I need you to be on some Travis Kelce, Shannon Sharp, Dwight Clark. Yeah, he think I ain't know. Dwight Clark. I need you to be on them type things. No, you just out there. It's like the Browns they believe in their own hype. Let's just say that. Like stop believing the hype. Just play. Get that same defense we had last year with the new offense that all the free agents we signed back. We good. But y'all want to be playing. Everybody, I don't know, it's like, you know how teams go through this phase of everybody want the max contract.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody can't get the max contract. So I'm a cut off because I don't want somebody to come rambling. You believe the Colts ever had that problem? Where everybody wanted the max contract, but everybody can't get the max contract. Your team ever had that problem?
So here's the thing. So we never have, but it's the culture of what we built. You know what I mean? Obviously in the Ballard era, when he drafts guys, when he brings guys in here, it's about their character. The character is the first thing he looks to, and that's what he judges. And like you mentioned of the ego thing. It's a culture thing. It's how you build your team. So if you bring in a lot of these big ego guys, you're going to experience problems like you're saying. Everyone wants to get paid, but everybody can't get paid. And you look, that's any league. That's not just the NFL. That's any league. You're going to have 3, 4 at best max contract guys. But then even then you do that, the rest of your team is league minimum guys. Obviously, you talk NFL, you're paying 53 guys as opposed to, the NBA is only 13. So it's not enough money for everyone to go around for everybody. So I agree with you on that. And, bring up your point of how you guys had the number one defense last year, but obviously nothing to show for it. You brought the 85 Bears. Look at the 0-2 Ravens. Trent Dilfer was the quarterback on that team. Look at the Ravens' last title. They had Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco, he played good that year, but Joe Flacco's not impressing anybody. Joe Flacco's not going to the Hall of Fame. You know what I mean? Like, it's been proven that a Hall of Fame defense or an all-star defense can carry a mediocre offense. But if you can't be mediocre on offense, you're not going anywhere. You got to still put points on the board.
That's just it, man. Like, even with see, I feel like the Colts, since you up here, y'all had Reggie Wayne, Marvin Harrison, Dwight Clark, James I don't know how to say James, Edrin, y'all had Edrin James, Peyton Manning, Jeff Saturday. Then on the defense side, y'all had Bob Sanders. Like, y'all had that Nick dude, I can't remember his last name. Y'all had, what's his name? Carlos Jones, short dude. Like, y'all just had Dwight Freeney. It was like y'all just had a stacked team on both sides of the ball. Yes, like you said earlier, y'all can't run into Tom Brady, you know. They was cheating, allegedly. Allegedly. They was cheating, allegedly. We know how Belichick get down. But like, it's like the Browns got that tight team. It's just like, I don't know what is their problem. Then the Browns talk about they want to move to some park. Like, stop. How about y'all win the Super Bowl first? Then y'all get into all that. Y'all renaming the field. Man, come on. Y'all doing everything except winning. When y'all gonna get some W's on? When the W column gonna be filled up? I'm tired of the loss. We've been losing for 20 plus years, man. When we gonna take some wins? And speaking of that, man, let's go into our last few topics. NFL teams. Let's start with the Eagles. Is the Eagles an NFC championship team?
This year? Okay, look. Pre the Love injury, I would say no. I would say that, you know, it's a three-way race between the Niners, the Lions, and the Packers. The Love injury opens a window for them to make something happen. I still think they're punching up at Detroit and San Francisco. You know, and obviously, you know, losing a Hall of Famer like Jason Kelce, you don't just replace that. And, you know, we obviously saw in their game, you know, Jalen Hurts had about like 3 fumbles purely off the center. So he's got to get that relationship corrected. When you have a high-powered defense and a good offense, you will always have a chance in this league. And that is what Philly has. So are they in the fight? Absolutely. But they're not favorites. You know, they're going to have to get through either Detroit or San Francisco to make it happen. Right? It's week 2. You ask me right now, I'm going to tell you no. But ask me later, you know, week 10, 11, 12, they'll probably be up there. You know, I'm sure they'll make the playoffs. But like I said, the NFC is running through Detroit or San Francisco.
Why you say Detroit?
Detroit is very underrated. I think they put themselves on a map last year. They've got a very underrated offense. Defensively, they had some questions. They corrected some of them. You know, drafting Terrion Arnold in the draft, I thought was huge. Toledo quarterback. I want him on the Colts. I'm happily satisfied with Latu. I have no issue with that. But, you know, Terrion Arnold is going to be an absolute dog in this league at corner. Offensively, I love everything they have over there. Jared Goff is a very good quarterback. Didn't get a fair shake with the Rams, but that offense is very explosive with Gibbs and Montgomery in the backfield. Amon-Ra St. Brown is a top receiver in this league, and Jameson Williams is going to be something nice. You know, when the year he was drafted, I said he was going to be nice. Obviously, to deal with injuries. He is a very good compliment to Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then even then, Sam Laporte is an up-and-coming young tight end in this league who is as well going to be a weapon. Offensively, they've got a nice weapon. Also, Ben Johnson, offensive coordinator. When we were searching for a head coach and we landed on second, I badly wanted him. Ben Johnson is absolutely an offensive genius, and he's got a lot of offensive weapons to do something with that. And just like how we were talking earlier of that, an all-star defense and a mediocre offense can carry you. An all-star offense and a mediocre defense can carry you as well. The Lions have an all-star offense. The defense has questions, but the defense does have pieces. You bring in Arnold, Aiden Hutchinson is an elite pass rusher in this league. Detroit's going to be a force to reckon with for years to come.
Oh, okay. Going to another Super Bowl championship type team. What about Miami? I'm going to start off. Y'all slowest receiver, as I just did a video on, is running a 4-4 flat. I don't know if Tua, you know, the game started, what he doing. I don't know if he turned to Ray Charles or somebody. Like, dude, your slowest receiver is running a 4-4 flat. Y'all just signed Jalen Ramsey and all them big name players, but I don't know, they still guarded type players. So what you feel about the Dolphins? Championship or bust?
Oh, this year it's bust. Look, they're not winning the championship. And look, I've been like a hater, whatever. I don't like Tua. I don't think he's it. I don't think he's it. I think he's an okay quarterback. Can he start in this league? Sure. But like you mentioned, slow receiver on that team runs a 4.4. So ideally, for a basic person, you would think, okay, we have all these speedsters. We need a strong arm quarterback. Tua is not a strong arm quarterback. You know, I made the jokes of that. You put Jameis Winston on that team, sure, he's reckless, but they would light up the scoreboard. You know, and obviously Tua is probably gonna get paid. I'm pretty sure. I think he got paid. Actually, I honestly don't remember. But I just don't think Tua is the guy with the way the team is built. Tua needs more underneath guys for him to be, you know, the best of his ability. But you give him a Tyreek Hill and a Jalen Waddle. Those are the type of receivers who needs a guy who can pump it down there. And Tua's not that.
What about the defense?
Defensively, I've always liked them. And, you know, Jalen Ramsey is a top corner in this league. You know, now they did lose Aiden. I think his last name's Phillips. I can't remember his first name right now. They did lose him in the offseason. One of the better pass rushers in the league. Defensively, they've always been solid. But again, you can be solid on defense when, like you said, when you mention the fact that all of your receivers are not slow. The slowest one is the fastest player on any other team. The offense has to be the focus. You know, that's a situation to where your defense can be mediocre. The offense has to carry the load for them to go anywhere. The defense just has to not mess it up.
Moving on to another team. I like to give all the teams love on here. That's how I like to do my part. I don't like to just be focused. The Cincinnati Bengals, are they even playoff contenders? Like, what you think?
When you got a big punch on offense, you can always do damage in this league. When they are healthy, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins is an absolute elite, you know, quarterback receiver core. Now, obviously, when we just talk about Joe Mixon torching us, you let him walk. You bring in Zach Moss, who had a nice year with us. Chase Brown's, you know, I think he's year 2. It's an okay running back tandem, but it's a pass first league. Joe Burrow, Chase, and T. Higgins alone can win you some games. Now, obviously, Chase has got to get healthy. Higgins has got to get healthy, but they got a chance. They're not winning a championship. Let me be real. They're not winning a championship this year. But offensively alone, though, they can get to the postseason.
You think Joe Burrow about to have a Carson Palmer era? Well, it's like Carson Palmer was like a Joe Burrow type stats coming out of college, but it's like Bengals ain't. I think they went to playoffs maybe once or twice his whole time he was there. Like, you think that's? Do you believe that's what Joe Burrow gonna go through?
Well, by default, I have to say no, just because Joe Burrow has already had better playoff success than Carson Palmer has over the course of his career. You know, I believe, like you said, you sold it short at 0-2. Carson Palmer, I believe, went 0-8 as a Bengal in his playoff career because Marvin Lewis went 0-15 in the playoffs as a head coach. So just alone, Joe Burrow with the Super Bowl appearance is already, again, topped Carson Palmer's postseason success. So in terms of that regard, he's not going to be a Carson Palmer, but so I think a comparable name might be Manning because I think just like how Brady stopped a lot of great quarterbacks from winning rings, Mahomes is going to do that to a lot of great AFC quarterbacks.
Yeah, you know, the referees be kicking it, allegedly. Oh, let's give another team some love. Nah, this a super old head team. I don't care what nobody say, LA Rams. You think the Rams just need to go ahead and just blow it up, or what you see they doing? Like, what you see with the Rams?
So the problem with the Rams is that they quite literally can't blow it up because they don't have draft picks. You know, they spent the last few and it worked. So I can't hate because it worked. They got a ring. So mission accomplished. But they're nowhere near a blowing it up purely because they don't have draft picks. And just like how I got done saying with Joe Burrow and the Bengals that and high power offense can carry you, Stafford, Kupp, and Nakua. Now, obviously, Nakua he just headed to the IR, so he's done for at least 4 games. But just like I said, Burrow, T. Higgins, and Chase is a very nice quarterback receiver core. Stafford, Kupp, and Nakua is another good one. And, Sean McVay is an excellent coach in this league. You argue he's top 5. Again, like I said, now they're not going to necessarily do anything this year, but they don't need to blow it up. They've got pieces so where they can make something happen. They've got a few years left.
I don't know. I got to see on that one. It's a segment. I just let my host talk. I just let my guests talk. Some hosts, they be trying to take over. I just be letting people flow. Last team, the new Patriots, Kansas City Chiefs. This the last team that we gonna wrap it up. Like, what's your insights on them?
Let's talk about it. It's a dynasty. We're watching another dynasty. Absolutely. I mean, the fact last year they had no business. They had zero business winning last year, and that was the worst team that they've had in the Patrick Mahomes era, and they got it done. They improved this year. Mahomes got more weapons. They lost on defense, but passer first league. Obviously going to carry. And Steve Spagnuolo as defense coordinator, he can make up for losing somebody. They lost Snead. He can build another Snead. Snead was nobody until his time in KC. They got Snead paid. And Mahomes is an absolutely dangerous man, and he showed you that last year. Mahomes, Rice, Travis Kelce, Hollywood Brown when he comes back. I didn't like him in college, but Xavier Worthy with Andy Reid, they can make him into a weapon. It's gonna be up to the. I'm waiting for Lamar to finally take him down a peg. I think the Ravens have the best shot at knocking KC off the pedestal, but I don't see it happening. It is Kansas City's conference to lose, and if they make the dance again, I think we're gonna see the first three-peat.
You feel like, you got Andy Reid, he's super out his way. Do you feel like if they were to make a head coaching change, it will still be a dynasty, or you think it's gonna blow up? Some teams where a great head coach like Andy Reid retires, the next coach come in, feel like the team just start to go down. So you feel like would that be a problem for Kansas City or no?
Well, sure. We want to talk hypothetically, sure, today, if you took Andy Reid off the Chiefs, sure, it's going to be a decrease. But the thing is that I don't think Andy Reid's not going away for at the minimum 5 years, and even then, that still sounds low. I mean, Andy Reid's not going anywhere. He'd be stupid to, you know what I mean? Like with what he has, but just play to play the game. Like, ask the question. It would depend on who you bring in to replace him. If I go hypothetically, let's say you put Sean McVay over there, they wouldn't miss a beat. If Steve Spagnuolo, if they just promote him to head coach, I don't think they would miss a beat either. Off the top of my head, those are the first to come to mention. But so sure, look, losing your head coach, changing your head coach is always going to have an impact and an effect on the team. But in the case of where they are right now, and when Andy Reid wouldn't necessarily hang it up, he's already got 2 there. But I have them on paper anyways of completing the three-peat this year. When he hangs it up, I think they'll not so much say blow it up, but they would just kind of reset anyway. But to answer your question, sure, it would make a difference, but I think by the time it happens, the team will be different, if that makes sense.
All right. I think we gonna call this an episode. Rondo, go ahead and tell them they can find you, Twitter, whatever. Go ahead, let them know.
Absolutely. So obviously you can give our podcast a follow, First 56 on Twitter at First and 56, like it sounds. You catch us on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere and ever listen to a podcast. So iTunes podcast, Spotify, Buzzsprout, Stitcher. Again, look at First 56. Like I said, myself, Gulick, Marcus Martinman running strong for 2 years as a trio. Me and Gulick strong 6 years as a duo. Sideline Sports on YouTube is our channel. We are affiliated with them. You know, great content over there. Not just us, not just football, all sports. Why it's called Sideline Sports. I want to also shout out TJ for bringing me on. You know, appreciate it, my man. Love, like I said, we've been talking a lot off the air. Like I said, great to finally put, you know, name to face. I told you, obviously, we talked about it. You're going to come on our show eventually. You know, we're going to figure that out. But like I said, appreciate you bringing me on. You know, hey, happy that you started your own thing. Keep up with it. Proud to see what you can do with this thing, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to come on y'all podcast. Y'all be after some foes. But yeah,
hey, we'll have a good time for sure.
This has been TJ McKinley podcast, aka Zero Chill. We say what we want, how we want, whatever we want. As you can see, another guest on, another episode. Basically, anybody who want to come on, I just let people get off with the chest. I know some podcasts be trying to censor people. We don't do that over here. I just let y'all get whatever off. But everybody like, subscribe, retweet, comment, post, all that good stuff. And thank y'all for watching.